Because it was Mr. Sparrow who said it.
He was a slow learner, but he learned.
I know she's very young to be a DI, and there was a lot of opposition, but she's never let me down.
I thought I knew who the enemy was, but it was you all along.
Okay, this is it.
Never was.
I thought Santino was a bad Don. Rest in peace.
Well, what if it was imported?
It was a wedding rehearsal.
I was lying there on the table thinking, I can't die now.
And then she said it was the perfect way to say goodbye.
Sorry. I promised myself I wasn't going to do this.
Which I never got, if that wasn't clear.
It wasn't an experiment.
I wasn't going to say anything.
No, I wasn't.
And it wasn't the mighty fleet.
But that wasn't the worst.
Wasn't anyone who thought you'd done it. It wasn't the tennis.
February 6, 1992. That was like 2 weeks before the accident, wasn't it?
Well, it wasn't much, but here's the 10 large to help the situation.
Though for a while I wasn't sure I was coming.
I told you it wasn't MS.
I wasn't listening.
But it wasn't your fault.
I wasn't gone more than a minute. You would, if you were mine.
Hey, where were you?
Well, you were looking into them, they were looking into you.
You were the maid who brought your child into the dining room at Downton.
Holmes, if I were to get to the country, it would be with my future wife.
Were the days when you just couldn't get warm, never mind how many fires your servants built.
We're aspiring to be content.
They said you were still...
And what were they doing in my bedroom?
Or maybe there were more.
He's paying the people who were playing, so...
Well, they were nice.
You'd be pissed off too if you were me!
There were 400 Japanese teenagers you were playing Halo with last night you're better friends with.
Those were such good times.
Do you girls remember that music we were listening to yesterday?
You were seen by no less than 7 muggles.
Were you distracted?
People were always trying to do things for her.
Well, you were thinking about it.
No, the tests were right.
Joe, what would you do if you were in Ross's situation?
What do you mean to your mother when you were a teenager?
You weren't where you were supposed to be, kid.
What were their symptoms?
You're like a different person in there.
And also, you said you were going to leave right after I got on the plane.
They were arguing.
So which one were you?
I should be greatly surprised if this were not the case, sir.
They were not playing very well.
You and Daddy were not on a break.
Those were not the terms.
We were finding out more and more that we were not alone.
I said you were not hardly, Alice, but you're much more hurt now.
They were not for the fighting.
They were not given to me to sell.
Come on, they were not that huge.
I told them you were not to be disturbed.